Well, what is happening, DC fans, movie fans alike? Welcome back to the channel. I am Diao, and this is another edition of my live. And this is the final Diao's Live of 2023. That's right. It is almost time to part ways to 2023 while we're getting ready for a new beginning of 2024. But what a perfect thing to talk about, the final thing to send us off on. But we're talking about the final installment of the DC Extended Universe. Today, we're going to be talking about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And joining with me today from the Kingdom of Nerds YouTube channel, I have Brucifer. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Excited to talk about this movie. As you can see, I have my Aquaman hat on, and we don't have a hater here. He's late as usual.
Yes.
We won't talk about that person.
No, he'll come strolling along when he gets here, and we'll get there when we get there. But glad to have you all here. But let's not waste any more time. Let us get into Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And as always, we have to remind the viewers out there, this is a spoiler-filled discussion. We're going to talk about this film as if you've already seen it. So if you have not seen Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and you don't want to know anything about it, go see it. Like, we recommend you go see it and come back and listen to this. But you have been warned. All right. So the DC Extended Universe, it has been a journey. Pretty rocky journey, but it's definitely been a journey. I would say, looking back at everything, I would still say that for the most part, I have been a fan of the majority of the DC films. I loved Man of Steel. And I loved Zack Snyder's Justice League. We don't have to retread the controversy of the direction of DC and Zack Snyder because we've covered that to death. But I've said ever since the 2017 version of Justice League, the direction of DC has been all over the place.
What is Justice League?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
What is that?
Yeah. That didn't happen. I don't care what Crazy Joe says, but no, that didn't happen.
Who's Crazy Joe? Hi, Crazy Joe.
Hi. Anyway, the direction of DC has been all over the place. But regardless of that, I still have enjoyed the majority of their stuff. And one of the things I've enjoyed a lot was the first Aquaman movie directed by James Wan. I'm a huge fan of James Wan. I loved it. I've enjoyed every movie that he's done. And I thought he did a great job with the first Aquaman. Yes. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of spectacle. It was a much grander, bigger film than I ever thought. They put a lot of stuff in that first movie, and I loved it. I thought Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I thought he was really good too. At first, I didn't know how to feel about him as Aquaman because he wasn't, he wasn't who I thought of immediately playing this character. But as I seen him in Justice League, and and seeing him in the first movie, like he definitely gave a unique take on the character. Um, so when it came to the Lost Kingdom, obviously they were going to make a sequel because surprisingly enough, the first Aquaman made $1 billion. The only
Who would have
DC
guessed?
exactly nobody. I didn't think they were going to make $1 billion. Like that was the last one I thought they was going to make $1 billion. But that was the first and only movie in the DCEU to make that much money. Everything else after that has been struggling. So of course they were going to make a sequel to this, but they waited a long time to do a sequel, probably because also they were going through a bunch of, you know, different regimes with Warner Brothers. Like this is the second regime to take over Warner Brothers versus AT&T, and now it was Discovery. So a bunch of stuff has been shuffling around, and them trying to figure out where they were going to what direction they were going to bring to DC, and so this almost was starting to get lost in the shuffle, and stuff kept getting pushed back, and hearing about reshoots and stuff like that, because behind the scenes we were supposed to get some cameos from other DC characters, specifically Batman. At first, it was going to be Michael Keaton's Batman showing up after The Flash, and then they changed it to Ben Affleck, and now we have none. So,
cockroach.
yeah, very, yeah.
But also, they have to take into account that all of these movies, DC movies this year, were made during COVID, which added to their budgets, which added to the date they were being released, which gave a few certain actors too much time on their hands to do some not so savory things on their off time, and that affected a lot of the DC projects this year.
Yes, indeed. So originally this movie was supposed to come out before The Flash, but that didn't end up being the case. As you alluded to, there has been some really crazy things going on with Ezra Miller, and that affected the release of the film. And so they were just like, you know what? We're just going to push Aquaman back. We're going to rearrange things. We're not going to even try and compete with Avatar. So we're just going to push it back. But then Avatar ended up pushing its release date back even further. So it's like, oh, I guess we didn't need to do that. Oh, well.
And also the whole Amber Heard trial, Johnny Depp trial. Happened.
Yes, the big elephant in the room, Amber Heard.
Yes.
So we all saw the results of that trial with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and yeah, Amber Heard is probably one of the most hated actresses today right now. Most of it justifiably so. Amber Heard is, my God, I don't know what's up with that chick, but so she's getting so much heat. People were wanting to boycott this movie because she was still going to be in it. This movie was made before the stuff with the trial ended, so they couldn't much. There wasn't much they could do about that. But I've heard a good amount of people saying that they weren't going to see this movie because Amber Heard was possibly going to be in it. And then you hearing rumors that they were going to cut like the amount of screen time that she had and other stuff like that. Is just like
that didn't happen.
Yeah, definitely did not happen. Which was a surprise, which I'm kind of relieved, which we'll get to when we talk about the movie. But and then outside of that, you've heard like stuff like, oh, we're having a hard time getting the effects right and making sure all the effects were good before the release date. And then hearing early screenings of the film, it was nothing but disaster. Everybody was saying that this movie was going to be terrible, and like it was going to be a big, just going to be a big blunder. We heard nothing but negative things about it. It was borderline unwatchable. Similar stuff that I heard about when Justice League was coming out, that this movie was borderline unwatchable. So it was like, man, I I really wanted, and hearing the early reviews of this movie too, it's in the 30s on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and that really bummed me out, man. Because I was a big fan of the first movie. Yeah, it was goofy, it was over the top, it was cheesy, but I had a good time with it. And from what I've seen from the trailers, it seemed like more of what I liked from the first movie. So I'm like, if you give me more, at least of what I liked from the first film, I'm not expecting this to blow my socks off. I'm not expecting this to be the great send off of the DCEU at this point, because stuff has been shoveled around. This be a good movie. That's all I expect it to be. And walking out of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, you know what? I liked it. I had a good time with it. I enjoyed this movie. Yes, I enjoyed this movie. I really don't understand why people are mad at this film. I don't understand it. It's exactly what I was hoping it would be. It was more of what I liked from the first film. Do I think this is better than the first movie? I don't know if I could say that. It's I would say it's like almost there for me. But I had a good time with this movie. I enjoyed it. I don't know. I thought the action was cool. I thought the effects looked pretty consistent with the first film. Jason Momoa as Aquaman still is a lot of fun to watch. I like that they added the dynamic between him and Orm, the brotherly stuff, and everybody's comparing it to Thor: The Dark World with Loki and Thor, which that's understandable, but I thought it did a good job here. And a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this. I'm actually relieved Amber Heard was in it as much as she was.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, I don't like Amber Heard the person, don't get me wrong, but let's be real about this. Amber Heard as Mera was very important in the first movie. She was pretty much the co-star of the first movie. And now that they're adding the thing that they have a kid now. They have a son. It would feel very out of place.
I don't know. Maybe Aquaman should get a DNA test on that kid, though. Just saying.
I mean, I don't know which is the stronger gene, blonde or redhead. I don't know, but
was he really blonde though?
Okay, he had blonde highlights, I guess.
All right, thank you.
Sure, I
had a really good beautician.
Yeah, I mean, if you come to think of it, if you see. If he grows up, if he's supposed to grow up to eventually become Aqualad doesn't look like either of Aquaman or Mera. Like, he has black hair, so it's like, whose father is that? But anyway,
Aqualad's not supposed to be his son in the comics, actually.
Yeah. They switch things, they different adaptations. Yeah. But anyway, it's like it would feel completely out of place for Mera not to be in this movie. So I'm glad she still had a presence in this film. Regardless of how I feel about the actress, I actually liked Amber Heard as Mera in the first movie and in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, she was perfectly serviceable here. I'm probably going to get a lot of heat saying that, but that's how I feel.
I think one thing that stood out from the first Aquaman movie with her character was her cool magic. The effects for her magic was insane. And I was hoping for more of that in this movie. You get to see a little bit, but not as much.
Yeah. And Queen Atlanta has more of a presence in this movie too, which is I definitely appreciate that. And Black Manta came to play in this movie. In the first film, I thought he was good, but he felt like a glorified cameo. He had one sequence, and that was mainly it. So I'm glad he's actually the main villain of this movie, and he is owning every scene that he's in. We'll talk more about him later, but I had a good time with this film. I really don't understand the hate. Now, once again, this movie is dumb. It is dumb. It has some ridiculous moments. It's over the top, but this is how I remember reading the comics of Aquaman, and like if you watch the Super Friends, it has similar vibes of that. So it's like, I had fun with how silly it is. Like, I'm not expecting every DC movie to feel the same. Like, I didn't want every movie to feel dark and serious and grounded. That's not what I want. I want a variety when it comes to the cinematic universes,
You
and
know,
you know,
the DC universe should be a reflection of the comics. You have serious stuff, you have stuff for everyone, and then you have lighthearted fun.
yeah.
That's what comics are all about. There's a choice. Everything doesn't have to be connected. Everything doesn't have to fill a hole. Sorry, Amber Heard. Everything, but you can enjoy this movie without it connecting to anything. It's. We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Right. Okay, figure drawing. I'm sick of you, man. I understand the hate, but this movie is dumb. Okay. All right, fine. Okay, let me be fair. If there's those critics out there that really want well-written stories and a serious, consistent tone, and they don't want to just enjoy the spectacle of the movie, okay, fine. I understand why people don't like it. Fine. Like they think that it feels like a 3-year-old wrote it. Okay, fine. That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
I'm
But
sorry. Comic book movies aren't supposed to be Oscar worthy.
no, even though stuff like the
Black
Batman is
Panther.
trying to win Black Panther, the Batman trying to be Oscar-winning movies. You know how
Yeah.
it is. But I was able to enjoy how fun it is. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Tell us, Brucifer, what is your overall opinions of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?
Well, everyone knows by now that I'm probably like the only Aquaman fan left. No, it's just kidding.
Dang. I'm sure
Aquaman
there's
is
5 of you there.
Aquaman has always been one of my favorite DC characters, and I had a lot of reservations when they cast Jason Momoa. I was like, why they cast this moron? I wasn't a fan, but after seeing him on screen and taking what a lot of people considered a C-list Justice League member, unfortunately, and taking him to new heights and adding a new dimension and to Aquaman. It was refreshing to actually see Aquaman portrayed by Momoa after watching the first Aquaman. This I had did I have last year hearing about people walking out of the of the screeners and tests, and I
Yep.
was like, but then you got to take into account that people will always compare this movie to DC overall and still have a bad taste in their mouth from Justice League and BVS and Wonder Woman 84, and I don't blame them. Some of those movies should have been a lot better. And as you said earlier, that it's been under the management of so many different companies over the years. It was so hard to get a coherent story. Was I expecting much from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? Not really. Did I have a great time watching it? I did. Between the dynamics between Momoa and Wilson, the even the s- even the squid was freaking funny. But we'll get to that later. It,
Yeah.
I will watch this again before it leaves theaters. That's my overall impression so far. Then we'll get into actual spoiler review. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. Figure drawing. If you pay attention earlier, Aquaman. The first one's right here. The second one is like right below it for me. Right below it. That's how I. It's not like whoa. It's way better than two. No, it's not like this. It's like right below it for me. That's how I feel. Okay, so where do we start? I mean, I guess we could start with Jason Momoa as Aquaman. As we said, like um I at first, as I said, I didn't know how to feel about dude bro Aquaman. Like, I was
Bro.
like he's like my man. Wahoo! Like, growing up watching Super Friends and Justice League the animated series and stuff like that, I'm actually more accustomed to the the more serious Aquaman with the fish hook and stuff like that. So like seeing this version of Aquaman, I was like, I don't know about this, man. I don't know. I mean, I like Jason Momoa, but I'm like, I don't know how to feel about making this dude a surfer, bro. But like, I I can't deny though, like he is
It worked.
he's so charming. It
Hmm.
works so well. It's like um honestly, I'm glad that he was able to put his own personality into it, because I honestly, if he did come in here being like the really serious dour stuff, I think it probably would have brought down the movie a little bit, like because there's already a bunch of melodramatic stuff when it came to the Snyder era stuff. So it's like I'm glad that, Momoa came in and like he's not afraid to have fun with this. As much as we love Aquaman, let's call it how it is. Like it can be a silly character. He rides on seahorses. He commands fish to do whatever he wants. He wears an orange and green outfit. You gotta have a little bit of fun with it. Not saying you can't take him seriously at times, but just like you can't. You gotta have some fun with it a little bit. So I'm glad that Jason came in and he's doing his thing. And like in this movie, it's more of that. It's more of that. Now, I guess people were expecting him to be a little bit more serious in this movie because the stakes are higher with this kid and Black Manta coming back, and like this 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 scary green trident is possessing Black Manta and is commanding a green army and stuff like that. So and also him being the king of Atlantis, you would think he's taking stuff a little bit more seriously now. But like I don't think he was. I don't think he was completely, making everything out to be a joke. Like I think he did step up when he needed to, but like, we got another guest coming in. We got another guest. Better late than never. Joining with us, we have Crazy Joe. How's it going, sir?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm guessing you watched Rebel Moon, judging from that title.
No, I did not.
You're just trolling again. Okay, great. Well,
that's still up there from last night. I didn't change it back.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention. But you did see Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, though. What is your overall thoughts on that movie?
I don't hate it. It's not the worst thing I've seen all year, but it may be the worst superhero movie I've seen all year. I didn't really care for it, but but I mean it's not, I mean it's not like the Eternals bad or anything,
Wow. This is going to be very interesting whenever Max gets in. We have two people that didn't care for it and two people that enjoyed
Well,
it.
Max flat out hated the movie. He said Momoa phoned it in. Obviously, that was.
I don't think Momoa is capable of phoning it in. I don't think he has phoning it in him. That man is pure enthusiasm.
Yeah, absolutely.
He gives his all in everything he does, even his TikTok videos.
Oh yeah,
he goes all out.
Yeah, but once again, I think it just goes back to people were expecting Jason Momoa to make Aquaman more serious. I think there was that expectation, like, because this is technically the darker chapter of Aquaman, so they were expecting him to have.
Do we want serious Aquaman though? Like, I mean, part of what has been so great about this character and Jason Momoa's portrayal of it is that he has played up the fun and made the character like entertaining and a little bit goofy, and the drinking with the guys in the bar and the like, I mean, that's part of what I think I'd be incredibly disappointed if I went in and got a very serious Aquaman movie.
I think a lot of criticism of how silly and him drinking is from a lot of nerds that don't have friends and don't go out their house. They don't. So, we know how it is to go to the bar, how to drink and have, one with the guys. A lot of these guys don't. They stay behind their computer. This movie sucks.
Maybe.
But, who knows?
Why do you want to see that? Why do you want to see this?
What?
This
No.
reminds me of Kevin Smith. When Kevin Smith was reviewing The Flash, he said someone complained that the babies looked fake, and he's like, "Oh, that's a weird stretch. So you're saying you would have liked it if it looked like real babies were falling out of the sky? Like that's what you wanted. You wanted to see real babies in danger. That would have."
Oh, that would have settled so many mom groups across the world. They're killing babies in movies now. Babies for
It's like, man. I don't know if I've mentioned this enough already, but I still enjoy The Flash. I know it's batshit insane, but I enjoy how batshit insane it is.
That is still my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
I've still yet to see a better film this year than The Flash.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable movie.
I just got out of a great movie, by the way, and I'm trying to decide if I should go see another movie because
Wonka or The Color Purple.
Neither. I'm going to tonight is my last chance to see The Iron Claw before New Year's because I'm working the night shift for the next 3 nights. So I'm like, should I don't know if I should go out and see. I want to see the movie The Iron Claw, but I don't feel like going out. That's the conundrum I have. And if I don't go out, I'm not seeing it for the next until Monday at the earliest. So
yeah,
I don't know. But I just got out of Migration, and let me tell you, Migration is a ton of fun. I laughed a lot. My daughter loved it. My wife loved it. We had a great time in Migration, so I can't recommend Migration enough.
The one thing this year has proven is a lot of good movies fell to the wayside, box office wise. They didn't get the love and the support they deserved, and just because a movie didn't make it in theaters doesn't mean it wasn't a good movie. A lot of people tend to equate box office success with how good a movie is, and that's not true. It never's been true.
that drives me nuts.
In fact, it's not even logical. Like there's no logic behind that because box office indicates people didn't see the movie, and if people didn't see the movie, they cannot tell you if it was good or bad or not because they didn't see the movie.
Yeah, man. Like that drives me nuts. That one, they dictate how good a movie is because they did make this much money, and then they want to make an opinion on a film that they haven't even seen. It's like they're prejudging it, and like that stuff drives me crazy. But
also, I'm not gonna watch this movie because it leads nowhere. Most movies never lead anywhere.
That doesn't make any sense. The whole so you'll only see a movie if you're guaranteed there's going to be a sequel. Like that's, I guess I shouldn't have seen Oppenheimer because it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I guess
I heard
it led into Godzilla.
They're not even making. Oh yeah, that's true.
There you go. Godzilla -1. That's a sequel confirmed. But
the black and white.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, like what happened to just enjoying a movie on its own? How about just like enjoying it like how it is and not worry about if it sets up a franchise? Like, are we really that conditioned by the MCU that everything needs to set up to something else?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's nuts, man.
But that's not even true of the MCU because the MCU, if you go back all the way to Phase 1, they would put like a little teeny tiny seed in there of something that may come to fruition later. But still, each movie was a standalone. You got a beginning, you got a middle, you got an end. You walked out, you had a complete story. It wasn't like you walked out of Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3 or Thor 1 and it was a cliffhanger and you're like, I don't know how this ends.
Well, they were doing it properly in Phase 1.
Right.
As it went on, it started to get more interconnected, which really frustrated me. Or it's like even the movies that stand on their own, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like it wouldn't have done even half as well if you didn't have other movies, the previous movies before that be good and know that it is connected in the same universe as Marvel.
But is it a case of they were connected, or was it a case of okay, look, Pixar. Okay, let's take Pixar for example.
Hold on, before you go into it, I just gotta say we got another guest coming in. Finally, he's here.
He got a haircut.
Yes, the madman himself. We have Max.
Hey.
What are you, 12?
What the?
No, I liked it. I like it.
This is what my wife and my hairdresser for like 30 years decided to do. They actually surprised me and tried to put blue in my beard, my goatee, but I guess my white hair is too coarse. It didn't take very good.
Hmm.
All right, not bad, not bad. Like it. But while you're here, please tell us what your overall thoughts on Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom.
Disappointing. Move on to Lobo, Jason Momoa. I don't feel like the energy that was there when Jason Momoa first had the role. Like he's still a very good-looking man, very built, way more chiseled than I ever will be. Hopefully, I'll get something. But it seems like he kind of was just like being himself more than trying to be Aquaman. And I felt like Jason Momoa in The Lost Kingdom instead of Aquaman. Whereas in the first one, I feel like he tried more. And I actually did not think that I would... everyone dislikes Amber Heard for reasons outside of the movie with all the controversy. But I think she looked great and did great as Mara. And I actually think it suffered not having her in as much. I think she would have been more exciting than Orm going along with him. Sorry.
I agree.
And
where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Woo!
Yeah. Look, I don't like what she did to Johnny Depp, and I don't like their whole relationship, and I don't really want to know about it.
Yeah, people
I don't take
are...
sides. I don't take sides on that. I'm not saying either one's guilty or not. They both sound like it was an absolute horrendous show.
I mean, people show their bias. You know what it is? It's millennial girls who think Johnny Depp is sexy and they can't accept the fact that he.
You're just taking one side though.
No, I'm not taking one side. I'm saying they were both incredibly toxic.
Yeah, they both did.
But Johnny Depp gets a pass because a whole generation grew up with posters of him on their wall thinking he was dreamy.
You wanted him to be less guilty than he was. He's not exactly innocent. He's just.
No, I mean, let's face it. Let's face it. He is a wife beater. He is a wife beater.
Well,
she egged him on and was equally as bad.
Don't know. She did the same thing.
Yeah, neither one of them.
Very unfortunate when people's relationships get public.
To be fair, there was no guilt and innocence in that trial.
Yeah,
it was just culpability when it comes to the slander. But she won that case in Europe, so.
Yeah, so it's and listen, let's not derail DL's awesome review with their nonsense. I'm just saying, as her character, I actually thought, I kind of miss, and especially if they're doing the child aspect, it would have been great to have the mother there more,
No, I agree. I absolutely agree.
She had to watch the baby, didn't she?
Well, it seemed like Arthur was watching the baby more than Mara.
Yeah, sure. Well, she was busy with Elon Musk. I'm sorry, wrong movie. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I had high expectations for Black Manta in this one.
Come on. He was awesome in this movie.
Not his fault. It's just the story. This is spoilers, so the storyline of an evil taking him over didn't really advance his character arc for me. It just was like, he's evil because he's
No,
he's
but
possessed.
He was allowed to be taken over because of all the anger and grief he was feeling from the death of his father.
I know, and that's a way to do it. That's a way to do it.
They did.
I know, but I would have personally preferred to see more of him without being possessed, be a major villain and take over, and then work with because he works on a suit to make it better.
Yeah,
like do
look
that
at
without
this badass suit. Look at it.
It's badass.
Yeah,
man.
So
I just think you're conflating your personal opinion of what it should be and what it actually is, and instead of judging it right out.
Yeah, and I was expecting a really great villain movie, and I think it fell short based on the way they went. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
I have to completely disagree. I mean, I get we probably could have had something a little bit more than mind control. Yes, I understand. But I think
mind control doesn't add to his arc and where he ends off to me personally. It just is like, okay,
But I think it was like at least enhancing his anger and like
yeah.
the revenge that he wants for killing his father. It's like the Darkhold in Doctor Strange taking over Wanda. Like it's just enhancing what her wants and like her aggressions. Or
Okay.
Because it allowed him to go further than what he would have been able to do if he wasn't possessed. He was ready to destroy the world to get back at Arthur. And if he wasn't possessed, I don't think he would have went that far.
And I know the relationship between Orm and Arthur is kind of like Loki and Thor, but the back and forth, like you're on my side this time, it just didn't work as well for me. I prefer Orm to just be the way he was in the first movie. I understand what they were doing.
Evil?
Huh?
You just wanted to be evil?
That would be cool if like just like spitballing here. What if Black Manta wasn't possessed and he actually freed Orm, and Orm went back to the kingdom and saw that would have been cool for me. I mean, that's just my idea.
That would have been too much of a rehash, though, don't you think? Because they already teamed up in the first movie.
All right,
technically. So I think.
Do you think you are down on this movie because you want it to be darker and more serious tone than the first?
How about this? Black Manta frees Orm. They go attack the kingdom, and Mara dies.
I'm sure everyone would have loved that too.
And then Arthur has to
baby?
go take them. No, the baby lives.
You just wanted a dark Aquaman movie. You want
that would have
Aquaman?
been
Everybody wants the Empire Strikes Back. They want the
Aquaman
Empire Strikes
BBS.
Back.
That's what he wanted. Aquaman BBS.
I think that's a.
I think a dark Aquaman movie. I just
thought
more.
of a cooler plot than the movie.
See, I didn't really care for the
All
movie,
right,
but
James,
if it was dark,
Wan.
I would have hated it.
You what?
I would have hated it if it was like a dark, serious movie. Like I didn't care for it as
and
it
then
was.
Orm turns good because he realized what he did, and then they have to work on the relationship. Oh wow, that's a great trilogy.
Now that was one of the best scenes. Not that we want to. Well, we does say spoilers.
That was a great scene.
That was pretty damn funny.
That was funny.
Now, on face value,
Not Orm doesn't kill. Okay, Orm doesn't kill Mara, but working with Black Manta kills Orm, and then they have to rebuild the relationship. Ooh.
All right, you're derailing the stream, Max.
No, sorry.
No, he's not.
Please.
No, he's not. That's interesting.
I just like saying it.
Because it's not actually Orm that pulls the trigger on it, but combining with Orm or combining with Black Manta, and then that causes Mara to die, and then everyone's like, "Yay, Amber Heard's out of the franchise."
Until
I just don't understand how you can say this is the worst movie of the year. Max.
Did I say that?
Yes, you said that.
You said this is the worst movie of the year?
Oh my god, I've seen much worse this year. I'd say it's my least favorite superhero movie this year. I'll give it that.
Well, I mean,
hang on, let me go to my records. I'm gonna find worst movies this year.
But that's the thing. This
is my notebook where I log every movie I go to see.
Yeah, his list is
now, Momo, if you rub against us, you might turn blue.
Because he loves Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I would put, and I know Purple Cry because I say this, but I would put Silent Night as a worst movie.
Oh, he's not gonna like that.
Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage. That was not a very good movie.
I think Perp needs a little pushback on some of his movie choices.
Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I would say is the worst movie.
Oh, I like that.
I didn't like that one at all. Next Goal Wins. I would say that was the worst movie.
The Notebook, starring Crazy Joe.
The Creator. I would say The Creator was worse.
You hated The Creator?
No.
The Expendables 4 and The Nun 2. Oh my God, there's a double feature of garbage right there.
Okay, I got you there. I'm with you there.
Expendables.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
That movie
I'll stop now. I'll stop now. I've just gotten to September and I've already found movies I liked a lot.
Where's Rebel Moon on that list?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I bet you if you saw it, it would be on.
Joe, I want to challenge you to a review that you don't want to do, and I want you to watch Rebel Moon, review it on your channel, and so my friends made me watch Rebel Moon. Here's what I think. That video would do good.
No,
Why?
because it's not worth it.
Honestly,
I'm not selling my soul for views.
What do you mean selling? Why would you sell your soul?
Because I have, out of principle, I will not watch that movie.
Oh, because
Honestly,
of
I am
okay.
Brucifer. I do.
yeah.
Come on.
Honestly, it's not worth it. You guys should wait for the director's cut if you guys haven't seen Rebel
he's
Moon
got to
already.
watch that
I'm telling
either.
you that right now. I know
I definitely won't watch the director's cut. I guarantee the theatrical cuts, or not the theatrical, both theaters. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. PG-13.
Oh, you got it.
I guarantee the PG-13 cut's better because it's a half hour shorter, so it's a half hour less torture.
Oh, what an appropriate hat you have on there, Bruce.
No, I got this from a
Oh, hang on, I'll put on my glasses.
a guy that used to be my friend until he gave a bad review for Aquaman.
If you disown him because of a bad review,
There you go. I'll put my glasses on. I'll put my.
I love those.
Oh,
The
nice.
snap ones.
Very nice. I can't believe you didn't like the creator though, because everyone said it was really good. Max said it was great. One of the best sci-fi movies of the year, right?
I didn't like it at all.
one of the best AI movies. It's right up there with Terminator 2 and Matrix.
That's interesting. Anyway, back to Aquaman. Okay, so yeah, like I don't know. Everyone's, as you said, Bruce. Everyone's expecting the dark seconds, the middle chapter, the Empire Strikes Back, the Last Jedi of Aquaman, blah blah blah. But like, yeah, as Joe said, like I don't think anybody really wants to see that, man. We don't. Was it really dark Aquaman film after the really
I don't.
the over the top, like fun, colorful first movie? That would feel like a massive total shift.
You know, if I wanted to see dark, Jason Momoa, I go back and watch the first season of Game of Thrones.
He was the king of the horsey people on that show.
I will actually sit down and watch Game of Thrones next year. By the way, I will sit down and watch it, guys. Don't worry. I will eventually watch it. But yeah, I thought Jason Momoa was fine. I didn't think he was phoning it in at all. Like I think he was pretty consistent with the first movie. It's not like everything was a joke to him in this film. Like he still took it seriously when the situation called for it, especially when his son was in danger. Like he was not playing around at all, man. I know we're probably skipping ahead a lot, but like when they burned down the lighthouse and took his son.
That was.
Oh, he was like, he meant business then. I was like, man, Khal Drogo was trying to come out, man.
Khal Drogo.
Where's
Khaleesi?
You know what I really liked? Because I thought this movie got off to a great start. Like at the beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. When we got that opening fight scene that kept cutting back and forth between the real fight and him reenacting it with his kids' action figures, I'm like, that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
That was funny.
Really funny.
Yeah. And that's the type of stuff I think people are digging. It's like, oh, we don't want to see this goofy stuff of him playing with the toys and his kids. We don't want to see Orm eating a cockroach, blah, blah, blah. Like, that stuff didn't bother me.
People lack joy.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I get there's a couple of stuff.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
I didn't mind the silly jokes. It's just the action wasn't as good either. It's just okay.
Can we talk about the gender swap they did for this?
Which one are you talking about?
Usually when a scientist is kidnapped by the big bad, it's usually a female. This time they kidnapped a man.
Yes, they kidnapped Agent
Jimmy. Oh, Dr. Shin, yep.
Randall Park, one of the bright spots of this movie, played a great character. His moral compass was tested. It was such a great. I love him. He's such a good actor.
Honestly, I'm with you there. I didn't expect to like him as much as I did in this movie, but like Randall Park, he was actually pretty good in this. I actually cared about what happens to him. He actually was, useful to the plot. Like, he was actually confronting Manta on the stuff that he was doing. Like, he was really good at this.
Yeah, sure.
I thought he was fine. I liked him better in Ant-Man, though.
I didn't like him in Ant-Man. I did not like him in Ant-Man.
Was he in Ant-Man? No.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Ant-Man and the Wasp, just Ant-Man and the Wasp.
He was, and he what was it? WandaVision.
Oh yeah, he was. I liked him in WandaVision. He was good in that. He was good in WandaVision. But yeah, I like this. And when I saw him at the end credit scene of the first movie, I was like, I didn't know how to feel about him. I'm like, oh, is this someone we got to follow around in the second film? He's going to be like the goofy scientist that's helping Black Manta, and he actually wasn't that. He was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
And I thought he was going to be, typical scientist gets killed by the half point of the movie. He didn't. He lasted, which was amazing. I think of him as Black Manta's conscience through the movie. He kept him from totally going dark at some points. Because he could have killed him at any time. As many times he went into that room. Like, come on.
I'm surprised he didn't just like put a sword through his chest. Like,
but he did say when he pulled out the knife, he said only pull his knife when it's going to draw blood, and then he did cut him later on.
Yeah,
like, he kept his promise.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So yeah, he was good. Speaking of Black Manta, man, like Yahya Abdul-Mateen, man, like I think he was perfectly cast as Black Manta. Just as I said, in the first movie, like he was cool, in the one action sequence that he had, which was a great action scene, but like it almost felt like he didn't need to be in the movie, honestly, like because it was mainly about Orm, and he was just a side piece to Orm. And as I said, like I'm glad that he is front and center in this, and his suit, like Lily, that I can't emphasize enough. That's just straight out of the comics, man. Like this is awesome. Like if they ever do bring Aquaman into the new DCU, I don't know how you get any better than that, because that's literally it. That's Black Manta right there. And he actually posed a threat to Aquaman in the movie, because of course, Aquaman has the superpowers and stuff like that. It's like, what's Black Manta gonna do against Aquaman, bruh? But like his suit was actually more durable in this, and he actually had more weapons this time around. So I'm glad, like he actually seemed more of a physical threat, along with the green trident that he had as well. But yeah, Yahya, we know he's gonna eventually do Wonder Man for the MCU, and we'll see how that goes. I don't give a shit about Wonder Man. I don't know who that is. I don't care who that is.
I liked Wonder Man during the West Coast Avengers run. He was a fun character. He was a love interest for Scarlet Witch. But we must not forget to mention the ancient Atlantean battleship. That shit was cool. Freaking menacing.
That was awesome. That was really, really cool. Also, these submarine things that they have.
Those things were so cool.
Those were really cool. I liked how they were utilized in the film. Like they had multiple stuff that they were able to do. And it actually using it to fight Arthur and Orm as well. It's like it was really, really cool how they did that.
What's the word you're looking for? Orca what?
Oh, you want to talk about that? We can talk about that. Okay, so this power supply that Atlantis has, orichalcum.
That sounds I don't like
orichalcum.
As I was explaining to the before we started, that is actually written in myths about ancient Atlantis. So it was a real world thing that from myths and mythology that they took and put into the movie, which was pretty cool, I thought.
Okay.
So
it sounded like the unobtainium from Avatar.
Yes. I'm like, wow.
So I that's cool that it's actually from the comics, but it still sounds
not from the comics. It's from actual writings, ancient times about Atlantis.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's so confusing because if they knew that this was based off of ancient Atlantean history, why would they use that term for something completely different? Like they could come up with anything they want, a different name, but that's what really confused me. It's like,
Hey guys, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna go see that movie because I'm not gonna give another chance.
What movie?
okay,
I'm going out to see the Iron Claw.
Ooh,
Okay.
Nice.
Here's my Iron Claw.
oh my god,
There you go. Right. That could be the movie. I'm reenacting the movie. I haven't even seen it yet.
I'm sure that's what happens.
yeah, that's exactly what he just
2
spoiled the
hours.
movie.
2 hours of that.
He just spoiled the movie right there. There you go. All right, enjoy yourself. What I
All right.
Have fun.
I'll see ya. Oh, by the way, check out Poor Things. Really good movie.
Yeah, that's what Perp said. It was a really good movie. For sure. All
right,
right,
see you, Joe.
later, Joe.
All right, later.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the power source or the actual power source, like that was interesting. It's just mainly used as a MacGuffin, so they didn't really go into like how they got the orichalcum, like where did it originate from. It's just like, oh, it powers Atlantis. Okay, sure.
Well, it powered Atlantis until it was banned, until they realized it was bad for the environment.
Oh yeah. That's it. Yep. So okay, that's fascinating, I guess. I don't know. It's just not too much to say about it. I like that is an interesting concept, but like, I wish they dove into that a little bit more. But
Yeah, it could have been fleshed out a little more. There's a lot of things that could have been fleshed out. Well, they had time constraints.
yeah, this movie was only
It needs a director's cut.
2 hours and 4
A
minutes.
liberal,
but-
glowing, warming message. Global warming, yeah.
well, you come to expect that with these type of movies.
I mean, it is about the ocean. He's always protecting the ocean, so.
exactly.
And in real life, Jason Momoa was the same way. He's an
Yeah.
eco warrior.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
They said he wanted to do this story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of Silver Age Aquaman stories were about the environment.
Yeah.
Also.
For sure. Okay, so you talked about Max. You talked about the action of this movie. You said it wasn't as good as the first film. You might have a little bit of a point there. Yes, it's not as grand as the first film. It like the set pieces aren't as intricate as it was in the first film, but I still thought the action was pretty good in this, all things considered. Given the first film, they put in so much in the first movie. Like we had a freaking Lord of the Rings level battle at the end with all the different nations together, and the freaking they had a kraken. They had a freaking kraken in the first movie. So I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting them to do the exact same thing in the first movie because they kind of blew their load a little bit in the first film. But like, I still thought the action was pretty cool in here. Like the entire sequence when
I think this movie would have also benefited. Of course, they didn't know if they were going to make a third one or not based on what was going on at Warner Brothers and Hamada and everything.
exactly.
But it would have been cool if they would have introduced another new character from Aquaman. Like, I don't know if it'd be Aqualad or, or.
Well, I think the baby is alluding.
That might be, yeah, but there's different versions of Aqualad, right?
There
Well,
are.
he could still be Aquaman.
And then
his name is.
And then
Arthur
Grace
Curry.
was saying something about Dolphin as a cool character, a female character.
Yes, Dolphin was a love
That would've been
interest
cool.
for Aquaman in the 70s.
Was it what?
A love interest for.
Oh, that's probably
Aquaman
why
in
they
the
didn't
70s.
introduce her. Okay.
Yeah, because
I didn't know who she was. I didn't know if she was. Okay.
unless you want to do a triangle, love triangle, and that will get very nasty very quick. But yeah, it's like I still thought there was some entertaining set pieces, like when Arthur was breaking Orm out of jail from the deserter kingdom with those guards and stuff like
Ocean
that.
11.
Oh God.
Okay.
I thought what was the freaking name of that freaking Poto? Was it Poto? The name of the freaking octopus?
The octopus. Oh yeah, the octopus. Yeah.
Topo.
Topo. That's it. Topo. Yeah. The octopus was cool.
It was
It was
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it had some funny moments here and there. A stealthy octopus that could camouflage and retrieve messages and stuff like that. So that was pretty
Yeah, that was
handy.
pretty cool. I want to stealth the octopus now. I think
Okay,
what?
The deep.
What's We don't talk
from
about
the
the
boys.
What an
Okay.
embarrassment.
Okay.
He's not even Atlantean.
It's funny though that the octopus is always late to everything though. That was like really it's like this stealthy octopus can't get around fast enough. Like why even bringing this thing? But yeah, I thought the Itopo was cool. And then what was the name of the seahorse?
Storm.
Storm. I like this. I like the seahorse. I like Storm. He was cool. I think he only had one scene to like really, or like only two scenes to really show off. I wish he was like in it a little bit more, but because like that's the silly stuff I want to see, man. I want to see in an action scene. I want to see the seahorse do some stuff, man. But like didn't really do that much in there. But yeah, that's the type of cool, over the top stuff I would want to see in this movie.
Yeah, Jacob is right. The blue suit is comic accurate.
Oh yeah, the stealth suit. I like the stealth suit. It was
stealth suit was cool.
I like it. I like it a lot. Definitely selling toys with that for sure.
I need that toy.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was going to be in it a little bit more, but once again, it's only in the sequence with breaking out with Orm, which it was fine. It was fine. It served its purpose. But yeah, and then like the entire sequence of Arthur and Orm going in the jungle, like, and they're getting chased by giant bugs and stuff like that. Dude, there's that one scene where the bugs were eating that giant rat, and I was like,
that rat didn't look good graphics wise too. I know it's a giant one, but it looked it did not look as quality as some of the other special effects.
You want a
I'm not saying I want that.
What the hell?
You want a realistic giant rat?
Were you in the theater taking notes?
I'm like, this rat looks a little.
This rat doesn't look real. I mean,
him tricking Orm into eating that cockroach was fucking awesome. There was so many groans in my.
That was funny.
Like,
that was funny.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
The shrimp of the land. That's funny.
Yeah, it's like I thought.
What do you think a shrimp is? That's actually
Exactly. It's like when Mara was eating flowers in the first movie. I thought that was funny. But yeah, it's just like I get like for certain people they're seeing that and it's like, okay, that's kind of weird, that's kind of gross. So it's like I get it's not everyone's cup of tea, but like I thought that was funny. Even like when they're running in the jungle for the first time and Orm is like not used to running on land, so he's not like using his arms to swing. It's like I'm not used to running like this, so it's like that was.
And then when he learned, he freaking flew by Aquaman.
He was just like, so it's like, yeah. So that stuff was good. That stuff was pretty good. It's like it's also nice to see that like Orm, who's a very serious character, like it was nice to see him lighten up a little bit. But still be that dichotomy of Arthur, like because he's a more playful character and Orm's a more serious character. So it's nice seeing that back and forth. But it's nice to see Orm opening up a little bit more. And it was a good subverting of my expectations because I was expecting Orm to betray him at any point in the movie. I was like, it's coming. It's coming. When's it coming? I know he's going to betray him. And it actually didn't happen. He actually was a man of his word. And he's actually has a little bit of a redemption story here, and I like to see it. So that stuff was really good. What did you guys think about the whole entity with the green trident and the green whatever that thing was? Those green demon things, whatever.
It was okay. I wasn't that impressed by it. It wasn't bad either. It was just okay.
It was okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, not too much to say about it. It's like it reminded me of some stuff from Lord of the Rings with the the demons and stuff like that. So it's like it was more of that, which it was fine.
Kordax is actually from the comics also, so
okay.
He wasn't as Lord of the Ringish, but he was in the comics.
I mean, there's some influences here and there,
from Return of the King.
Yep. one trident to rule them all. Anyway. But yeah, so that was
You get a
cool.
trident. You get a trident. You get a trident.
You can try it.
Everybody had a trident.
Everybody did, yes. Um as far as like the designs of like the fish creatures, I think there was a lot more unique designs in here. Especially like when Orm and Arthur went into that like underground like part of Atlantis with the mob boss and the shark people and that one fish lady that was singing and stuff like that. So like there were some really unique designs there. And
Don't hate me for saying this, but when I saw that part, I thought of Little Italy in New York.
for any of you who are old enough to know what that is, Bruce for showing his age a little bit.
What?
But
Little Italy in New York? Come on, it's still there. Jeez. That's where all the shady
it
stuff
almost
used to
seems a
happen.
little bit of like older, like the sequels of Pirates of the Caribbean too, like with those creatures.
yeah. Which
I thought it was cool also in Atlantis with the waterways, the jet stream waterways. That was pretty damn cool.
oh yeah.
And the
that was-
restaurants and people eating. Like, what the hell? They didn't show
Yeah.
that in the first movie.
No, they didn't. It's like they're actually showing more of like the actual fish people underwater. So it's like I think, in my opinion, I think Aquaman has some of the most creative world building out of all the DC films. Like you're actually seeing like an actual world underwater, and it's very detailed and has different kingdoms and different societies, and it's like very very expansive. So it's like I think it's really really cool. Once again, if they ever decide to bring Aquaman into the DCU, I'll be far-fetched, for them to be as
I'd like them
creative
to
as-
bring a different one, honestly. At this
Oh,
point,
Momoa back, damn it.
I'm okay. I want a new Aquaman. We're
honestly,
getting a new Superman. I kind of want a new Aquaman.
honestly, as much as I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I really want to see him as Lobo in the DCU. Like I think that role is destined for him,
Well,
man.
When we get to the ending, that's the problems I had too.
The thing is, Lobo's a downgrade from Aquaman.
Not
No,
Well,
necessarily. When you bring things to live action, you can make them a really more popular character. Look
Or
at
they could-
Wolverine on
or they
C
could
list.
fail.
Look at Iron Man. No
C-list.
longer C list, A list
still
character
is.
now. No,
Exactly.
Still C-list.
no. When you bring it to
Still
live
C-list.
action, if they bring Lobo to live action, they can make it a more popular character. Can you
You think
imagine?
Lobo-
can you
Lobo's-
imagine
Lobo's
Jason Momoa
not-
with a cigar on a big bike?
Lobo is not a strong enough character to carry a Lobo movie.
What? Who? Well, I
Maybe a series.
disagree. I disagree, especially if Jason Momoa is playing it, he is going to take it and
What a-
run with it, bro.
What about Lobo series for Max, like they did for Peacemaker? No, I didn't think Peacemaker was going to.
Peacemaker was a
I-
runaway hit.
And I doubted that they could carry a series with just that character from the Suicide Squad.
I doubt Peacemaker could do well in the box office.
He's very popular now. At least he was
His
when he
last
came out.
couple-
If they
His
may have
last
wait, they
couple
may
of
have
movies are-
they may have waited too long to make a second season because of other circumstances. Because that was a popular show when it came out.
I think
And-
he'll get his momentum back once, especially because they know that this season of Peacemaker is going to be in the DCU now, so it's going to be more eyes on it now. I think.
Well, what do you think Lobo could make a better a series like that? Yeah, I could see it.
If they give it the budget that needs to, because
Yeah.
like Lobo's in space
Are
and
they?
stuff like that. So
Are they going to give up the budget it needs?
I don't know. I mean, it
Well, it could
depends.
cross over with the Lanterns too, potentially. I don't know.
It could, but I think Lobo could be DC's answer to Deadpool if they do it properly. And I think with Jason Momoa, because he has a bunch of charisma in his pinky, I think he'll be able to make that role into like a very popular character. Once again, with James Gunn, if he can make Polka Dot Man popular,
Right.
anything is possible, man.
Right, and that is a strength of him. And that don't underestimate Lobo, if James Gunn's doing the direction on him, he could really. All he has to do is give Momoa that intro to how to handle the character, or when he's directing him, say, "Jason, that's Lobo," and then he could run. Look what he did with Batista. I think Batista owes a lot to Gunn, even though some people still have a problem with Drax.
Yeah.
But
Lobo's a D-list character. So is Shang-Chi, and it's one of the best films in the MCU.
yes, I agree.
So
It changes when it goes to a different medium, I think.
It doesn't always work though.
I mean, until it doesn't work, I'm going to be very excited to see how they do with it. Now, as far as them getting a new Aquaman, I'm with you. I think it's time for them to get a new Aquaman. I think I want to see a more visually accurate Aquaman. Maybe not be as dude bro-y with this version.
Mhm.
Maybe get get somebody that's blonde. But what I'm going to have a difficult time seeing is like, how are they going to make an Atlantis that's just as expansive or as interesting as this Atlantis? Because it's so detailed in these movies. I'm wondering how they're going to be able to live up to that. But only time will tell, and especially, as I said, with Black Manta as well. How are you gonna do better than that, bruh? You might as well bring Yaya.
Well, I don't know the other Aquaman villains. I don't know. There's not too many of them, or
Well, yeah, he does have a rogues gallery, but it's not very
Yeah,
memorable. Rogues gallery. It's not very. It's not
like
very,
we've seen the majority of the characters that are important.
If they're gonna recast Aquaman, I would really like them to go with Jackson Hyde as Aquaman.
Wait, Jackson Hyde? Let me look him up.
It's on the screen, buddy.
Is it? Oh. Wait, you want?
Oh,
wait, but he's
yeah.
Aqualad. He's Aqualad. though.
He was Aquaman for a while.
But you want him to start as Aquaman and knowing there's a backstory where he's Aqualad? Oh boy, this turns my mouth red,
What?
darn it.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
God. What the hell are you drinking?
It's a new Mountain Dew citrus cherry. I didn't know it was going to turn my mouth red.
Oh,
You
I
have your
tried.
lipstick on.
I
know.
tried that. It's a little too syrupy for me.
It says Game Fuel, Mountain Dew Game Fuel.
Yeah, the Game Fuel one seems to taste a lot more syrupy. I don't really care for it.
I'm not going to get it again if it turns my mouth different colors.
First you got a new haircut. You're turning your beard blue, and now you're wearing red lipstick.
He's living on the
I'm
edge.
I'm going woke.
He's living on the edge.
I've gone woke.
Max has
Max
become a lesbian before our eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Are you going to Home Depot next? Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh. Anyway, let's move on. I like that Queen Atlanta got more to do with this. Actually playing a part in the story and getting more action scenes and stuff like that. A lot of people were thinking that she was going to replace Mara in this movie, and that didn't end up being the case, which I am very relieved. Nicole Kidman, I think, is really good as Atlanta. Pretty consistent how she was in the first film. I don't know. Yeah, I like Nicole Kidman. I think she's great. Even though the DC outing that she was in before this, I didn't care for her in Batman Forever, but I think she found her calling here. And then Dolph Lundgren was fine. Dolph Lundgren was fine.
I was glad he was back. I didn't think he was going to be back.
I didn't think so either. It was a surprise that they brought him back.
I didn't hear anything about him working on the sequel.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he was in it. One person I was disappointed that he didn't come back is Willem Dafoe as Vulko. I was disappointed that they didn't bring him back. I guess, and they just said that he died off screen. Don't question what happens off screen, but it's such a bummer that they killed off his character like that. Because he was so integral to the first movie and in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So it's like, I just wish that I wish they did better with his send off. You know, at least I even wish they had like a time to mourn his character. You know, like see maybe like see his grave or something like that, or maybe a funeral or something. But I don't know. That was kind of a bummer. Did you feel Volko's absence in this?
I don't think he was needed, but I agree. I wanted to see him, but like for this story, what would he have helped with?
He probably would have helped with along with Atlanta. I mean, I guess Atlanta's already doing the majority of stuff, so I guess he doesn't need to be there. But like also, I guess he can help with that, or give more facts about the Trident, which Atlanta already did too, and so okay, I guess he didn't really need to be there.
I mean, he could have gone on an adventure with him and his brother, but then it would
take away from the brother stuff, honestly, if they had another person tagging.
He would just be there to, give some intro stuff at the beginning or show up at the ending. I don't know.
I guess. Did you feel Volko's absence, Brucifer?
Whose absence? I'm sorry.
Volko.
I guess not.
I guess not. Okay. Did care for Volko or
who?
Who?
Oh, come on. You didn't like him in the first movie or the Snyder Cut?
I liked him.
I don't know. It wasn't a memorable character, so.
Dang.
I think he was, but I think
he helped train Arthur.
So?
Oh man, can't believe we're doing Willem Dafoe like that.
He was like a Jedi Master.
Yeah.
To young Aquaman.
Masters.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
He was like a Jedi Master. He was training him in the ways of Aquaman.
I didn't care about Yoda. I don't care about this guy.
You don't care about Yoda?
No, I never have.
What?
What the hell is even that?
Is Joe here still? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, where is this? Man.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe the prequel trilogies ruined my view of Yoda. He went from this barely moving old creature to doing backflips and somersaults, and just like.
I mean,
look, he was creepy. He was like a creepy priest in the Catholic Church.
I think we look at Yoda completely different from you, man. What did you just say? You called him a...
Come on.
Are you making an accusation against the Jedi Order?
Yes.
Well,
Listen, every word of what you just said was wrong.
The Jedi Order, it will come out.
What happened to the younglings?
They were more younglings for
at least as far as we know.
Come on.
Anakin took them out before anything like that would have happened.
He didn't want the same thing that happened to him happen to the younglings. He was touched by the Force in many ways.
Dude.
Show me on the Yoda doll where they hurt you.
This is so wrong. I'm sorry, DL. I'm sorry, DL. The person saying this.
Bruce.
Stop it. Get some help.
What's the neighbor from South Park? I mean, not South Park. Family Guy that's always trying to get Chris over to his house.
We're actually losing viewers with this.
That would be the first time.
I apologize.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, back to Aquaman.
Anyway, all right. So, hey, what else?
I'm just waiting till you get to the awful ending. I know I'm not trying to make you skip ahead, but whew.
I mean, honestly, I mean, not saying this as a bad thing, but like, there's not that much to talk about with the movie because like it's very
right. I know. I'm just looking at you, DL. I'm like, okay.
I guess the one thing I do want to talk about though is like, while yes, a majority of the movie you can claim to be goofy and like silly and stuff like that, but like the final fight between Aquaman and Black Manta, that was a really gripping, intense fight in my opinion. Like you could claim that the first half of the movie was silly, but when it got to that point, I was on the edge of my seat there. Especially when they're fighting with those tridents. Like that was some really good choreography and some really good camera movements. I really felt James Wan was really coming out in that scene. I was like, I really, really like that final fight between Aquaman and
I have
Black.
to rewatch it. I honestly was like kind of
Mhm.
checked out by that point, so I'll have to rewatch that scene.
I
I
also
was
like
just
when, yeah, I mean, yeah, rewatch that because that
Yeah.
entire sequence that was actually really really good. And then when Mara came in and helped as well, like that was actually a really good part of the movie. I actually really like that. Like claiming that this movie doesn't have enough intensity or grit and like edge, like I said, James Wan was trying to come out in that one, in
Mhm.
at that part at least. What? Okay, so one thing though that didn't fully make sense to me, and you could probably say, "Oh, comic book logic," you don't think too hard about it, but like, so Aquaman is going to throw the green trident at
Kodak.
Korak.
Kodak.
And he-
Kodaks.
Codex. Codex. Where's the Codex? But he was gonna throw the trident at Codex, and he actually thought that was gonna stop him with his own trident. That was kind of a dim-witted move there. But like, what I also thought was kind of inconsistent, a little inconsistent, because so we saw at the end that Aquaman's trident, he threw it at the green trident, and it shattered. But we just had an entire fight between Aquaman and Black Manta where he was using the green trident and it didn't easily break like that.
Oh, I thought it was because Kodaks didn't reach his full potential power level. That's what I thought.
Okay. We can have some leeway in there, I guess, because he was trying to get Orm to, to claim the power, and he fights against that, which was also a really good scene.
Mhm.
And then he ends up having no host for it, so I guess that did kind of
Yeah.
like lessen
Weaken him.
the power there. Okay, I guess that doesn't make sense there. Okay, what was Black Manta's assistant again?
Stingray.
Stingray. She was good.
She was really good. I was sad that she didn't make it out the ship. I was like,
Oh yeah,
damn.
she died in fiery blaze.
Holy fuck! That ship explosion was intense.
Yeah, it was quite cataclysmic. Also, funny things. Speaking of explosions, when Randall, they bring back the gag in the first movie that like whenever they're about to explore out exposition about what they do, they get interrupted by an explosion. And I love how they call it out. That Randall Park's like, man, I hate it when that, or like when Aquaman said it, like when the explosion happens, like, oh, I hate it when that
Hate it when
happens.
it
I'm like,
happens.
oh, they called it out. It's like they know it's ridiculous that they keep getting interrupted by
Yeah.
explosions.
I think of the action, explosions, and both movies, and it reminds me of Michael Bay. But if Michael Bay could make a movie,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, like the explosions
it
actually
felt,
had a
yes.
purpose in here.
Mhm.
So, yes. Man, I love James Wan. Is so versatile. He does horror and then
There
he
was
does
some
action films.
interesting scenes with the creatures, like that really like woo, like really creepy at certain points, and then it didn't, and then it just like just a quick scene. Like I wish they would have pushed it a little bit with some of those possessed creatures.
Mike is
Your mic's going in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it okay now?
I think it's okay. Keep talking.
I guess
Oh.
not.
Okay, I guess he's gonna go fix it. But yeah, definitely. As I said, yeah, the creature designs in here. Oh, okay. Hopefully he comes back. But as you said, the creature designs. Yeah, there were some really creepy fish monster designs as well. So like, of course, James Wan getting his horror roots in here, which is what I like to see. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we get to Max wants to talk about the ending so much? Anything else? Bring up?
I don't know what happened to my sound when I undid it and plugged back the microphone. Now it's only through my monitor.
Okay.
It's fine. You're not echoing.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Hey, did your door just close by itself?
Yeah.
Haunted.
The spirit of Black Manta.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, I guess we could talk about the mid credit scene. Is that what you're talking about? The mid credit
No,
scene?
the ending.
What?
I'm Aquaman.
Oh! You know what? Yes, that entire. Okay, so this is a controversial thing. A controversial way they ended the movie.
Horrible.
They watched Black Panther and had some influence here. So
No, Iron Man.
no,
Iron Man.
it's Black Panther because like
It's both.
Well, it's both. It's both. It's a mixture of both things. Okay, so Aquaman decides to reveal Atlantis to the world.
Don't they know? Like, it's so odd because of the Justice. They're really saying the Justice League movies never happened. I don't know. Like,
Well, if the Justice League exists in the universe, they already know who Aquaman is.
yeah.
Right? So
Yeah,
it's like
I
they
guess
might
they
as
didn't know
well.
he came from a undersea. I don't know.
They should put 2 and 2 together. That
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like,
you got to realize there's so many metahumans going around in that world. You wake up, you're a metahuman in DC's world. So, you know, they just thought he was somebody just, I don't know. Atlantis, you usually think of people with gills and fish heads or something. You know, it's not like he looked like that.
So my concern with that though is like, I don't think this was the right time to reveal Atlantis to the world because you know how surface dwellers are, right? Like you see they're not all of them play fair. And they're most likely going to try and infiltrate Atlantis and take their resources. Very similar to how they did in Black Panther. So it's like, I really don't. I mean, I guess that's their way of trying to end off the movies on a happy note. But like, you didn't need that. And then they said, "I'm Aquaman." Mic drop. Wahoo!
I thought it was funny.
I'm
That
on
was-
a stream and I can't fix my audio. I don't know why it's coming out of my computer instead of my earbuds.
Sorry, we'll try to keep it down, I guess, for Max's wife.
Trying to.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. That seemed like a pretty hokey way of ending the Aquaman series. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to end off on a nice note, but I don't know. It was a bit cheesy. I don't know. What do you think about it, Max? Anything you want to add on it? It was just like,
It was a weird way to end the movie, and then I was just like, okay, I'm done. This was dumb. I'm sorry, I understand what they're going for, but it didn't work for me. His delivery was bad. I am Aquaman. And then along with that lackluster ending, and then the mid-credits scene.
yeah, with Orm eating a burger at a restaurant and then putting a cockroach in the burger. I'm like,
That was funny.
okay.
I thought it was funny.
I mean, yeah, it was funny. I didn't have a problem with it. I see why people think that was disgusting and weird, but like I didn't, it was whatever.
I see a lot of people say this wasn't a DC movie. This didn't feel like a DC movie.
What does a DC movie feel like?
If DC movies felt like DC movies, we wouldn't be in this particular circumstance now with resetting the universe.
There you go. What was that? Okay, you remember when Crazy Joe was talking about the T-shirt that Orm was wearing? I wasn't paying attention. What was it the T-shirt that Orm was wearing?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I have to watch it again and see, or just look online and see what T-shirt that he's talking about. He said, "Oh, look at the T-shirt. The T-shirt was cool," but okay. So, were you guys bummed out that that Batman didn't show up?
No, because the movie wasn't great and it wasn't going anywhere. So I wasn't disappointed that Affleck didn't show up. I'm like, I would like to see the scene still, but I'm like, this is going nowhere. I'm just like, okay.
Does it matter that it went nowhere?
Yeah. I guess you and Joe say superhero movies don't need to hint at the future. They could be self-contained. But you know what?
DC movies
When they
were
hint at other
self-contained for
things, they bring
years.
in box office.
That's not
And
true.
it's just there wasn't
What
anything.
happened to the
even
Marvel
for
Marvel
Aquaman
universe?
here. Like, do you want, even if you like the movie, do you think you want to see a third one after that ending?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I mean, and once again, it's just like I think it's Marvel conditioning us to expect certain things from comic book movies, and it's like it's nice if certain things to set up to other things, but like I don't need that. I just want a good movie,
And
you know.
in the last decade of DC movies, it's not like they set up the next movie or next universe really well anyway. A lot of
It
stuff
did
was
it.
promised and never happened.
Yeah, so it's like I'm just sick of empty promises at this point. You just don't set up to anything if you can't follow through on it. You know, I'm already starting to fall out of love with this Snyder Cut movement. Like restore the Snyderverse. I'm falling out of love with it. I really am. It's really frustrating, especially after Rebel Moon.
Well,
So
here's my thoughts on it. If they're not going to just do Justice League 2 and do Darkseid, I really don't care to see Wonder Woman, Aquaman 3, and all these other supplemental movies in the universe, honestly, based on what they did with the second movies.
I mean, you're right about I get you. I get you on that. I get you.
I mean, if they brought them all back together and said this is a Justice League movie, and you could see Momoa, Gal, Cavill, Affleck, and even Ezra all together again, then I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'd love to see that. But if they're still going to do their own separate stories and then do it's like continuing what at this point?
They have their own journeys. They have their own stories. Like, it shouldn't just be like, oh, these movies exist because we're just making a team up movie. That's not how you should make films. Like,
that's why the first one flopped, because they rushed into Justice League.
That's why Batman v Superman was as messy as it was. Like, I know people.
Well, I mean, we left it at a really cool point after the Snyder Cut. Well, actually, after both cuts, Darkseid was coming.
Kind of with Justice League, but yes, I get it.
It's the same story. I think it was done better in the Snyder Cut, but it ends the same, where the Justice League forms to take out a big bad, which is still Steppenwolf. The only difference is at the end they show Darkseid through the boom tube. But basically, the Justice League is together to protect the Earth and the universe.
Okay, but they don't. Doesn't mean they have to do everything together, because that doesn't happen. Like, they sometimes have their own stuff going on, you know. So it's like, I don't know. This is what it's saying. You see how Max is thinking. You see he's fried.
Yeah.
I want to see great villains. Darkseid is a really cool villain.
I do too. I was with you. You can go back to my podcast and
When are you gonna finally give up and just say it's over?
What, on seeing Darkseid?
Yes.
I'm not. I want to see Darkseid.
I want to see Darkseid, but guess what? We probably won't see Darkseid now for another 10 years in the DCU.
I was, Ava DuVernay. I was excited to see that too. Although, we got the Snyder Cut version.
I mean, I didn't trust Ava DuVernay to do New Gods after a wrinkle.
Okay, anyway, the end of the Snyder Cut was a lot more interesting than the Aquaman 2.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Where it leaves off, and where the potential for the future is.
Sure. Yes, but I enjoyed myself regardless. I enjoyed Aquaman regardless. Whether we had a cool mid-credit scene, whether we had a cool ending setting up to a bigger thing, doesn't matter. I still enjoyed the movie. I mean,
that's the hook of these movies. It's like a soap opera, somewhat. Is you hook in the audience to say, oh, you need to see what happens next. And there's not that hook here. At the end, I was just like, okay, at the end.
What you thought was going to happen at the end? That they were going to bring back.
Did you really want them to set up, even though we know it's the end?
League.
Did you want them to really set up something that's
that.
not going to happen? That's not going to happen?
I'm Max. I want that.
Like, let's say this, because you know this is the last DCEU movie. Say that you loved the film. Did you still want them to set up to something that's not going to happen?
I just didn't feel anything at the end.
I'm sorry you didn't feel anything, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you did.
Like I'd feel like I want to see another adventure with this character, this version of Aquaman. I didn't.
Well, there's the thing, because they know, James Wan knows, those actors know, the other people working on the movie know, James Gunn knows, this is the last Jason Momoa Aquaman movie we're going to get. So this was their.
They didn't know that when they were making it.
Okay, then they would have kept the Ben Affleck scene.
Okay.
If they didn't know that, but just like. This is their send off to the character. That was it. Like, and so if this is the send off to the character, if they're not going to set up to other things, don't give me no stingers. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give me false hope. Don't give me another Superman at the end of Black Adam. Don't give me Wonder Woman at the end of Shazam 2. Don't give me none of that. Just send off the character and send me on my way. And that's what it did. That's what it did. I don't know. Like, man. Go ahead,
Max. It's like you're on a merry-go-round. You keep going round and round, hoping things change, and you're never getting off. You have to get off at some point and realize you can have self-contained movies without something happening at the end.
I think the MCU succeeded because it wasn't just that, and that it went towards Thanos and Endgame, and it was a very exciting build-up, and that's why it was so successful.
But also because they were good movies with good characters and good storytelling for the most part. So, like, you can't just have the setup. Like, we can't just have the setup and then just be like, oh yeah, people are going to see more, because we've seen other cinematic universes be reliant on setting up to other things, and they crash and burn. Dark universe. So, come on now. Even the MonsterVerse. Probably the second most successful cinematic universe right now. They're like they
had Godzilla goes against Kong.
Yeah, but they were okay. Oh, actually, okay. Let me take that back, because they did have certain thing teasing that. They had one thing.
But you got to realize there are a lot more Godzilla movies than there have been DCU movies over the last 50 years. So there was a foundation
for the
this to happen.
But they were also those movies were standalone films as well. They weren't just like a lead into here comes
they
this.
Were building building blocks with Monarch and everything.
Yeah, Monarch.
And they gave teasers at the end.
There was one teaser at the end of Kong Skull Island, and that was it. That was it. That was it. Everything else was self-contained.
They basically did the PVS with Kong. With Batman vs Superman, with Kong versus Godzilla, and they succeeded.
They succeeded,
and they kept going. They didn't get cold feet.
Well, that was a better movie.
Yeah, they were self-contained stories. Even like they did what Phase 1 did. They did okay. All right, bye. But they did what Phase 1 of Marvel did properly. Yes, they had little teases here and there, but that wasn't focused on that. They were focused on making a good movie with good characters and good storytelling. They were focused on their own movies first and set up second. That's what they need to do, And that's what I hope James Gunn will do going forward. Storytelling is key. That's what he says. So I hope that's what they implement going forward.
I hope people take this time that we have, a year and a half break before the next DCU movie. Well, the first DCU movie in the new universe. Take this time, go read some comics, pick up some trade paperbacks, watch maybe some movies you haven't watched, and maybe you have a different opinion of these characters going forward, and not just some of these bad incoherent movies.
Yep. These casual moviegoers out there don't want to.
Not a victim mindset figure drawing. If you're talking about movie universes, it's different than comics. And the most successful template so far is building them where they connect, hint at other movies, have end credit sequences that are relevant towards the future.
That's not true for Batman.
The most successful movie universes have this. Until someone does it without connecting everything.
The Batman.
The Batman hints at stuff and connects anything in the Batman universe. The Reeves-verse. Why do you think they call it the Reeves-verse?
Because
Okay, but
nerds
it's
sit behind computers.
You're trying to prove
and
me
use
wrong,
verse
you're
for
proving me
everything.
right.
Because
But
nerds
it's-
need to call everything a verse.
but it's
No.
its
Yeah.
own franchise though. It's not part of a bigger universe though.
It's still a verse. And it's going with the Penguin, and it's going to have Arkham. The only thing that's confusing is Matt Reeves said, I'm not going with the DC Studios right now. And then the Batman's its own thing, but Arkham is in both universes, which is weird. James Gunn, because
How
it
is that weird?
it was starting
how do you
development
not-
after James Gunn took
How
over.
do you not
whereas
understand
Penguin
the
was
multiverse at
started
this time?
before.
Multiverse. It's a thing.
They-
Always has been a thing.
You're just
There's a
saying multiverse
there's-
like it's an answer.
There's a Max sitting in a universe
You just said
adjacent to us
multiverse for
that
Arkham,
has blue
like
hair
answer,
and a
like
white
that makes
beard.
sense to why it's in both universes.
Yes, you can have both places in different universes, and not be the same thing, right?
Anyway, we can argue about this all night. I think it's time to start closing things out.
Good, because I can't talk about this movie for another hour.
Okay.
I love talking to you guys, but I'm struggling just talking
Alright.
about this movie.
Fair enough. All right. Overall, I enjoyed this movie.
I'm
I
very
had
happy, and I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm gonna watch it when it comes on Max. I'm not paying to see it again. Actually, you know what? If I get my AMC A list, I will put Aquaman 2 back on the voting, and then it'll be that and other movies. And if people vote for it, then I'll go see it again. But other than that, I'm waiting for Max.
Good on you then. Is this my favorite DCEU movie this year? No. My personal favorite is still Blue Beetle, but it's probably a good second for me. But yeah, I had a good time with it. Like, it was pretty consistent, at least in my opinion, it was pretty consistent with the first film. If not just just a little bit under for me. But I thought Jason Momoa was still great. I thought Nicole Kidman as Atlanta was good. I thought Patrick Wilson as Orm was great. I like the brother dynamic. Black Manta is more of a villain in this. Like, he's actually the main villain in this, and he's owning every scene that he's in, and he's more imposing, and I loved it. And his suit is awesome. The action scenes I thought were entertaining. The creature designs of Atlantis and the overall world building of Atlantis itself, it's so well realized. It's so creative. It's so imaginative. I didn't think the effects were that bad. I think it was pretty consistent with the first film. And yeah, just overall, I think this is very fun. I think what James Wan and Jason Momoa and what everyone else was able to accomplish, making an Aquaman film entertaining when Aquaman was first, he was a joke. He started out as a joke. When they first announced they were doing an Aquaman movie, everybody laughed at it. And it, at least with the first film, it ended up being one of the most successful DC films they ever made. So I'm just really happy. And Mara, I'm glad Mara was in it for the moments that she was in it. She was in it a lot more than I thought she was going to be. I don't like Amber Heard the person, but I like Mara the character, and I'm glad she was still in the movie. So I'm giving Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I'm giving it a B. Sue me. I'm giving it a B. It's pretty good. I like it. Go see it if you haven't. If you're even curious about it, I think it's worth your time. Go ahead, Lucifer.
I thought this movie continued the fun and entertainment the first one started. Momoa and Yaya and Wilson were a great addition to this movie this franchise once again. I love the whole brother buddy cop thing they did. Ocean's 11 breaking them out of prison thing. It was just fun, and it will brighten up your holidays. If you haven't seen this movie, I would highly advise for you to check it out for yourself. Just don't take anyone's word for it. Judge it for yourself. And not every movie needs to connect or go somewhere. And have a happy holiday.
Yes. Give it a grade. Give it a grade. What are you giving it? Give it a grade.
D
A B plus.
minus.
B plus.
Oh, I
B
thought it was my
plus,
fault.
baby. No, it ain't your turn yet. Awesome. B plus. Now it is your turn, you crabby pants.
I'll start with the score. D minus.
Oh my
Max wants
God.
a D.
You can't be serious.
I wish Aquaman brought the D. He was more like low T Aquaman. Where was it?
Isn't that what your haters say about you?
I wasn't feeling it. We're the first. That's a great comparison. The first Aquaman is like high T, high energy. This one's like low T. Need some supplements, Momoa. I wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling the energy. I've seen the villain better in the first movie. Everything was better in the first movie. Didn't feel like it was going anywhere. Ended with a thud. Like the ending was very lame. Low T Aquaman, exactly. D plus.
Oh,
D minus. I'm sorry, D minus.
I was about to say, he's amping up a little bit. He's
No,
amping up a little
D
bit.
minus.
Gosh darn it.
I would have given it a C if it wasn't for the lackluster ending. It was just like such a weird way to end. This is like lame.
Hey, so can I ask you a question? What did you give Rebel Moon the other night? What
C.
score?
No, he gave it a C plus.
Okay.
Yeah, D
Hey.
minus.
Well, he did say
I'm
he liked.
standing by it.
He did say he liked Rebel Moon more than Aquaman. So
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna give it another shot. Besides the ending, the ending just like ruined it for me. That's the part where I actually checked out was with the battle between Aquaman and Manta, and then the ending. So I'll rewatch the battle. I'll look forward to that because you said that was one of your favorite parts. So I'll rewatch that with the anticipation, and then I'll just stop it before it gets to the ending. I'll stop it before it gets to that. And I won't watch that stupid ending.
Max doesn't. Max hates fun, guys. He hates fun.
No, I love fun. I wish that was. I wish there was some,
at the end
Does
of
it
the
have
day,
anything? Does it have anything to do with that?
I wanted to see an Aquaman movie, not a Momoa movie. And I love Momoa. I'd love to hang out with him. But,
he won't hang out with you because you're low.
I know he wouldn't. Not after this review. D minus.
at the end of the day, regardless of what grade Max gives this movie, I just want you all to leave remembering this one crucial fact.
Marvel's was better.
He enjoyed X-Men Apocalypse. Anyway, that is our thought.
X-Men Apocalypse is a far superior film. It is.
No standards.
Rewatch it.
Stop it. Get some help.
That's what I'm here for. Isn't this where I get help?
Because I have to have an intervention at some point.
Anyway, that is our thoughts / debate on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Tell us, what did you guys think about it if you saw it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? How does it compare to the first movie? How does it compare to the rest of the DCEU? Comment your thoughts down below and let us know. It's over. It's over, gentlemen. The DCEU is done.
Thank God.
The DCU is at an end. This is the last.
Unless they bring Darkseid, I don't care. Unless the Justice League and go against Darkseid, I don't care. If they're doing more of these one-off movies that just go nowhere, I don't care. That don't mean anything, that are irrelevant. I don't care.
Is he still talking? I thought we're ending.
Bring on Superman's Legacy. I mean, James Gunn's Legacy. Bring on James Gunn's Legacy.
No, you're trying to be edgy. Too late.
So, for me, I did realize that there's one DCEU project that I haven't talked about yet, and that was Peacemaker Season 1, So I would do a little epilogue myself and talk about that. And then they will truly be the end of me talking about the DCEU. But the next DC project in general it'll be the first installment of the new DCU run by James Gunn. Is Creature Commandos, I think.
I'm really looking forward to that.
So tune in for that when it comes out, and then the official, which is kind of confusing, the big startup of the new DCU, Superman Legacy, coming out in 2025. My most anticipated film of that year. Can't wait to talk about that when it gets there. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of DC. I'm excited for what James Gunn is going to have in store for this universe. Can't wait to see it. I'm sure he's going to bring DC back to its glory days, back to its prominence again. I'm so excited. Can't wait. But if you guys enjoyed this stream, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And please hit the bell if you want to be notified of future videos I'll be doing. If you're watching on my channel, don't forget to subscribe to Movie Madness Entertainment and the Kingdom of Nerds channel. Both have some great stuff on here. And also, if you guys are watching MME, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you
let me
guys.
subscribe. I'm just kidding. I'm subscribed. Kidding.
You better be, because I'm subscribed to you. But yeah, man. If you guys are on MME, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you for helping me reach 500 subscribers.
Awesome. Well deserved. You deserve way more too.
Yes.
Way more than Bruce. I mean, you both deserve more.
All right. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers, and I can actually be monetized. Let's get to 1,000.
You know, if you want to see a streamlined MME, tune into my channel where things run smoothly and we're on time, and we actually had topics ready to go. Good night.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And don't worry, hot takes will return in 2024. We're gonna get hot takes back up. I promise. We're gonna bring it back. But that's all we have for you, DC fans. And we will see you guys in the new year. Talk to you guys later.
Wait, we're not gonna say hello again after the new year?
Well, okay. Well, if you were here on time, you would know this is the last D-Owls live for 2023. So that's why I'm saying adieu till 2024. I mean, I'm going to show up on MME before the new year. You guys know.
Okay.
And if Brucifer wants me on the Kingdom of Nerds before the new year, I'll come on as well. But
sure, we're gonna go. I will tell you, Monday we will be doing which movies are our most anticipated movies of 2024.
I might be able to
it'll
make
be like
Monday.
a resolution.
I might be able to make Monday. We should do a mega stream Monday, Brucifer, and get you watch hours.
I'm gonna be hungover. Really? I'm going out drinking like the whole day.
Really?
Yeah.
I got drinks here.
It's New Year's, bro.
Is that
I need to get
for
some
me to come over?
beer or something, or some hard seltzers or something. I already got my wife some stuff today, but I need to get something for myself.
Yeah, I'm almost at 2,000 watch hours.
Nice.
Another 2,000 to go.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Wahoo!